Have you ever woken up, made your morning coffee, and sat in silence wondering what's next? Maybe you used to have a house full of noise, kids, grandkids, a partner, but now it's just you. And while that silence can be peaceful, it can also feel a little too quiet sometimes. If you've ever felt like that, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck feeling that way. Life after 60 can be one of the most fulfilling, joyful, and freeing chapters of your journey. The secret? Learning how to truly enjoy your own company and shape your days on your terms. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Think about it. Have you ever been in a crowded room yet felt completely disconnected? On the other hand, have you ever sat in your garden, feeling the sun on your face, listening to the birds, and felt completely at peace? The difference isn't the number of people around you. It's how you connect with yourself, with the world, and with what truly makes you happy. And that brings us to the first secret to enjoying life alone after 60. Embracing your independence as a gift, not a burden. For most of our lives, we're defined by our roles: spouse, parent, employee, caretaker. But now you have a chance to redefine yourself, just for you. What does that mean? It means discovering what excites you, what brings you joy, what sparks curiosity. Maybe it's an old hobby you left behind years ago, like painting or gardening. Maybe it's something brand new, like learning a language or traveling solo. The point is, this is your time to explore without anyone else's expectations holding you back. The beauty of this phase of life is that you get to decide what your days look like, what routines bring you peace, and what experiences fill your heart. Now let's talk about connection, not just with others, but with yourself. One of the most powerful things you can do when living alone is to cultivate a rich inner world. What does that mean? It means filling your time with activities that engage your mind and soul. Reading a book that challenges your perspective, journaling your thoughts and reflections, practicing mindfulness, where you sit in the present moment and truly appreciate the little things, the warmth of your tea, the laughter of a neighbor, the way a sunset paints the sky. When you build a fulfilling inner world, loneliness starts to lose its grip because you are constantly feeding your mind and spirit with things that make you feel alive. Of course, independence doesn't mean isolation. Having a social life as a single person over 60 isn't about trying to match the kind of friendships or relationships you had in your 30s or 40s. It's about creating meaningful connections in a way that suits your lifestyle now. It could be joining a community group, taking a class, or simply making an effort to chat with neighbors and acquaintances. The key is to seek out interactions that uplift you, not ones that drain you. There's a big difference between feeling obligated to socialize and genuinely enjoying the company of like-minded people. And here's something important to remember. You don't have to fill every moment with activity. There's power in slowing down. In today's fast-paced world, we're often made to feel like we should always be doing something, achieving something, planning something. But the truth is, some of life's most precious moments come when you simply allow yourself to just be. Sitting by the ocean, taking a slow morning walk, savoring a home-cooked meal in complete peace. These are the moments where happiness is quietly waiting. Learning to be comfortable in your own presence is a skill, and the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. So if you've ever worried about being alone, I want you to shift your perspective. Instead of thinking of it as being on your own, think of it as being with yourself. And that's a beautiful thing, because you are someone worth spending time with. This is your time to shape your life exactly as you want it, to wake up each day with excitement instead of worry, to embrace your independence as a powerful new chapter, not a lonely one. Because happiness isn't about who's around you, it's about how you choose to live each day. And with that, let's move on to the next secret to finding joy on your own terms. Now that we've started to see how life alone can be a journey of self-discovery and joy, let's go a little deeper. Have you ever found yourself sitting in a quiet house, wondering what to do next? Maybe it's a Sunday afternoon, and there's no one calling, no plans on the calendar. That silence can either feel peaceful or incredibly lonely, depending on how you look at it. But here's the truth. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It's all about how you choose to spend that time. One of the best ways to embrace solitude is by rediscovering curiosity. Think about when you were a child, how everything felt new and exciting. That curiosity doesn't have to fade with age. It can be rekindled. Try picking up a book on a topic you've never explored before, taking a class just for fun, or even learning a new skill. It's not about keeping busy for the sake of it. It's about finding what truly interests you and diving in. Imagine sitting down to paint for the first time in years or playing an instrument you've always loved. These aren't just hobbies. They're ways to reconnect with yourself in ways you might not have done in decades. And speaking of reconnecting, have you ever thought about writing? Not necessarily for anyone else to read, but just for you? Journaling or writing down memories can be incredibly therapeutic. It helps you process your thoughts, relive beautiful moments, and even work through challenges. Imagine writing a letter to your younger self, offering advice and encouragement. You'd probably tell yourself to worry less, to embrace every moment, and to trust that things always work out in the end. That's the wisdom you carry now, and it's a powerful thing. Another secret to happiness alone? Movement. It's easy to slip into a routine that keeps you in the same place, both physically and mentally. But movement, whether it's walking, stretching, dancing, or even light yoga, keeps you feeling alive. Have you ever put on your favorite song and just moved to the music in your living room? There's a kind of joy in that, a feeling of freedom that reminds you that you're still here, still vibrant, still capable of enjoying life. And let's not forget the simple power of nature. Spending time outside, even just sitting on a porch or walking through a park, has a way of resetting your mind. The fresh air, the sunlight, the sound of birds, it all works together to lift your spirits. If you have a garden, tending to it can be a meditative practice. Even caring for a simple potted plant indoors can bring a little bit of life into your space and remind you that growth happens in every season. Now, there's one more thing that makes a huge difference: the way you talk to yourself. It's easy to focus on what's missing or what's changed over the years. But instead of thinking about what you've lost, focus on what you've gained: wisdom, resilience, freedom to live life on your own terms. That shift in perspective is powerful. Try telling yourself out loud something kind every day. Maybe it's, "I'm proud of how far I've come," or "I deserve to be happy no matter my circumstances." It might feel silly at first, but words have power. The way you speak to yourself shapes how you experience life. When you start to see time alone as a gift rather than a burden, everything shifts. You begin to realize that happiness isn't something that depends on others. It's something you create from within. And once you tap into that, being alone isn't lonely at all. It's an opportunity, an open door to a life that's still full of possibilities. Now let's talk about another secret to being happy alone after 60. Learning to embrace change instead of fearing it. Life, as we know, is constantly shifting. People come and go, circumstances evolve, and what once felt familiar can suddenly seem foreign. But here's the thing: happiness isn't about clinging to what was. It's about making the most of what is. Think about the times in your life when you faced something new. Maybe you moved to a different city, started a new job, or even learned how to use a smartphone for the first time. At first it felt uncertain, maybe even uncomfortable. But with time, you adjusted, adapted, and, before you knew it, you felt right at home. That's the power of change. It forces us to grow, to learn, and to see the world from a fresh perspective. One of the biggest hurdles in later life is feeling like the world is moving forward without us. Friends pass away, family members get busy, and suddenly it's just us in a quiet house wondering what's next. But solitude doesn't have to mean loneliness. In fact, this chapter of life can be one of the most liberating if we allow it to be. Instead of seeing change as something to fear, think of it as an invitation to rediscover yourself. Try something you've never done before. Join a local group, learn a new skill, or even start an online community. There are so many ways to stay engaged and connected, but it all starts with a willingness to step into the unknown. Speaking of stepping into new experiences, let's talk about the importance of movement. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Staying active isn't just about exercise, though that's definitely important. It's about keeping your mind engaged, your heart open, and your spirit curious. When we stop moving, whether that's through learning, exploring, or connecting, we start to feel stagnant. And that's when loneliness can creep in. It's never too late to start something new. Whether it's yoga, painting, or even dancing in your living room to your favorite song, movement brings joy. It reminds us that we're alive, that we have control over our well-being, and that happiness isn't something we wait for, it's something we create. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for happiness, gratitude. It sounds simple, but it's life-changing. When we focus on what we have instead of what we've lost, our entire perspective shifts. Maybe you have a beautiful garden, a pet that makes you smile, or a memory that warms your heart. These small joys add up, and when we start noticing them, they become our foundation for happiness. Gratitude isn't just about looking back, it's about appreciating the present. It's about finding something each day that makes you smile. A sunrise, a good cup of coffee, a friendly neighbor. And when you do, loneliness starts to lose its grip because your heart is too full of appreciation to feel empty. This journey of happiness alone isn't about filling a void. It's about embracing life exactly as it is, finding joy in the small things, and knowing that you are enough just as you are. And here's something truly powerful. Gratitude. It might sound simple, but the way you look at your life shapes your happiness more than anything else. When you start focusing on what you have, instead of what you've lost or what's missing, life takes on a whole new light. Every morning, take a moment to appreciate something. Your health, the sunrise, the ability to enjoy a cup of coffee in peace. Gratitude rewires your brain to seek joy, to recognize beauty in the small things, and to feel fulfilled without needing external validation. Now let's talk about giving. One of the most fulfilling ways to be happy alone is to find ways to contribute. Whether it's volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring a younger person, or simply being there for a friend in need, giving has a magical way of making you feel connected and purposeful. It's not about grand gestures. Sometimes just listening to someone can change their day and yours. When you give, you create meaning, and meaning is what turns solitude into a beautiful, enriching experience, rather than something to be feared. At the end of the day, happiness alone is not about waiting for someone to make your life complete. It's about realizing that you are already whole. You are capable of joy, adventure, love, whether that love comes from within or from the world around you. Life doesn't have an age limit on happiness. So take yourself out to dinner, laugh at your own jokes, dance in your living room, and never stop being curious about what's next. You don't have to just exist. You can truly live on your own terms and be happy doing it. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How do you find joy in your own company? And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that helps you live your best life at any age. Here's to embracing every moment with confidence, peace, and joy.